Good luck.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Game Addicts podcast, the show where we talk about the modern and retro video games that we play and collect. I'm your host, Brando. Joining me today as this podcast player too is my good friend Nate.
Hey, buddy.
How's it going?
It's going really well. I'm glad to be back on the show.
Yes, in fact, you were back on the show. You were on the Xbox 360 Retrospective, and this week we are going to be talking about the PS2. And one of the reasons why I thought it was best to bring you on was because, the normal guest host or co-host of the show didn't have a PS2 growing up.
Mike did not have a PS2?
No.
Interesting.
No, he went GameCube, and then he got an Xbox just before he deployed.
The really weird thing about me with PlayStation 2 is I realized sitting here thinking about, like, when did I get a PlayStation 2 exactly? And it hit me that my first really, experience into the system was you, because you had one, and I didn't. But then, and we would play stuff like, I see Siphon Filter over there and stuff, and obviously Hitman and whatnot. But it wasn't until, 2005 that I bought my first PS2. Almost a year before I bought my 360.
That's crazy.
Well, I didn't have a lot of money, and then I was working and whatnot, and I finally was like, I need this. And actually, the reason I bought my slim PS2, which looks exactly like this, it was my first model, was for Guitar Hero.
Well, the PS2 originally launched in October 2000, and I wanted one day one. Could not get one. Didn't have money. Like you, I was just a lowly teenager with no money. The PS1, I had a PS1 at the time and was just still clocking hours, many hours into that. In fact, one game that I got that tied me over for this was Final Fantasy IX, which came out after the PS2 was launched.
Yeah, it did.
So unfortunately, that game kind of gets looked over. However, the fat model that we have here, we're going to go ahead and kind of pull it out and find a space for this for now. The fat model, the big old fat boy. Dude, this thing's a monster.
It's huge. When I worked at GameStop, we would get a lot of these defective in. People who just didn't treat the system good or they just ran it to death.
Yeah.
And they're just like really good door stoppers. We would actually use these as door stoppers when we were bringing shipment in.
Well, you had to have that because of the GameStop door breaking.
Yeah, yep, the West Break. The legendary story from the Journey into Comics channel.
Yeah. Which, by the way, you were a co-host on along with myself.
Hey, we do that show.
Yeah, dude, I was actually going to totally pitch that in the beginning, and we just ran right into this. But yeah, Journey into Comics, Foodies Watching Movies, Journey into Wrestling, all these shows. Game Addicts podcast spun off from the Journey into Comics podcast. But this was the first system that they really designated with a kind of a hyphenated number, or what's the right word? Instead of I'm having a real brain.
It was like the
You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Yeah, I do, and I can't.
The words that mean the letters that mean something else.
Yeah, an anagram.
It's not really an anagram, is it?
No, anagram is the
word that says the same backwards. Is that?
No, that. Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
We totally are failing on this one.
Yeah, we were totally failing. I can't remember the name of it, but PlayStation 2, PS2. Of course, when they launched the Slim, PS1, they put a little one on it, which I actually have one of those behind you, but one of the Slims. No. It's behind you on the floor.
Oh.
Inside my PlayStation cab.
Oh.
However, this big fatty, and of course, it does have USB inputs. And it has a disc tray coming out. One of the best features about the PlayStation 2 in general, the movable logo.
Yep.
So, if you're rocking your PS2 like this, it's nice and straight. But if you had the little vertical stand, you can put this sucker sideways.
Didn't really need the vertical stand.
Not
it
really.
Pretty much can do it on its own. It would just overheat a little bit if you had it standing like this, especially on carpet. Some people would put the system on the floor, and I'm just like, I don't get it.
But, of course, you have the 2 memory card slots. You have 2 controller ports. Then on the back, you have your power supply, your power switch, which was in the back.
Yeah.
That was different.
That was
I was not used to that.
Not the last model that did this for PlayStation either. They did that on the 3 as well.
Yes.
I think they got rid of it for 4, but the 2 and the 3 have.
Well, the original Fat for the 3 had that.
Correct. The slimmer models and the top loaders don't.
Right, because the first Slim was just a actual button in the front, and because like literally with that one, it's like you put the cord in, it is on. You know, unlike the Fat where you could turn it off or on, whichever you wanted. Just like this, I always turned it off when I was done with it. I never like kept that on, and left it in like rest mode or whatever.
Yeah.
Or it's off.
Yeah.
But you could just hit the button right up here in the front, the power reset button, and or the eject button, and have it just fire right up. But another thing you have your AV out. So this system is capable of regular AV. It's capable of S video. I want to say it's like SCART over in Europe, RGB over there, and then there's a component output availability for the States. But there's really only so many games that really take advantage of that, unfortunately. Then we have the good old expansion bay. If I can get this.
I can't believe you pulled that off.
The expansion bay is like there's nothing in there
Except for some
a little bit of dust. The dust bunnies.
Oh yeah. Woo.
Got a little bit of dust in there, but this is where you would put your hard drive or your network adapter. So they were planning ahead. They kind of knew what they wanted to do. You know, a lot of systems kind of have these expansion ports and bays, and really, sometimes like the Super Nintendo, it's there, but it never got used. You know.
Correct.
But this came out in, as I said, in October of 2000, and I had 2 of these.
2 Fat Boys.
I had 2 Fat Boys.
Okay.
My first one I got the next year. Now I actually completely remember the first night I played a PS2.
Okay.
100%.
Sure. Tell.
So I was spending the night at our friend Jason's.
Cool.
And we were hanging out with some of our friends, and we were just out and about causing trouble. It was in October of 2001, and we were just out, doing whatever. And then one of our friends, his name's Brad Tittle.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Hey man, my brother's friend is spending the night. He brought his PS2 over." We're like, "What?" He goes, "We might be able to sneak up and play it." So his brother and his friend were out in the garage, probably drinking, probably smoking, whatever.
Yeah.
Not paying us any mind. And we snuck upstairs, and we played the PlayStation 2.
What did you play?
Grand Theft Auto 3.
Awesome.
First game I ever played. Which it's in here.
Somewhere.
It's right here.
Oh, it's right there in the collection.
And like in the trilogy. I'll just go ahead and pull this out because we'll talk about the others as we move along. Wow. So, Grand Theft Auto 3, first game I ever played. And
Fido.
yes, I guess Claude is his real name.
Yeah. I don't think I knew that until right now.
But this is not my original copy because I never owned the game.
Rented it a lot, I'm guessing.
Borrowed it from Jason.
Oh.
We had plans. After that night, we went back to his place and we struck deals. We struck plans. We were both going to ask for PlayStation 2 for Christmas.
Okay.
He was going to get Grand Theft Auto 3. I was going to get MGS 2.
Awesome.
And then we were going to trade off when we were done with them.
Yeah.
So, that didn't happen for me.
You didn't get the PS2 for Christmas.
I did. We both got PS2s for Christmas.
You didn't get Metal Gear.
I did not. They were out.
Oh.
If I remember, I think Metal Gear launched in November. I'm just going to look that up real quick. I think Metal Gear Solid 2
Okay.
launched in November.
Metal Gear 2.
November 12th, 2001. So it was like 1 month later. And that's actually the Substance version they re-released. The original was just called Sons of Liberty. That has some extras. So I got the system, and it came bundled with GTA 3. Not GTA, Gran Turismo 3.
GT3, yeah.
GTA Spec 3.
Yeah.
But this is not my original version. I don't know what happened to it. It was originally just all red case because the box was all red case.
Yes.
Because it was a bundled edition. And so I got this. I remember I got the PS2. I got Gran Turismo. And I got Stain's Breaking the Cycle CD.
Awesome.
And then I didn't have a memory card. so it pretty much makes this useless. This game is all about tracking your shit. So I wanted a memory card, and I wanted a game. If I couldn't get Metal Gear, I wanted SmackDown.
Yeah.
The wrestling series. And I told my dad after my family Christmas, that's where I got the PS2. I'm like, tomorrow I got money. We're going down to Walmart, because where we lived, you actually had to travel to like another town, like almost like 40 minutes away, just to go to damn Walmart.
Yep.
I want to go and I want to get a memory card and I want to get SmackDown. He goes, we're just gonna stay home tomorrow. And I'm like, no, you don't get it. I'm like, I want SmackDown. If I can't get Metal Gear, I want SmackDown. He goes, you got a game? I said, I don't want that game.
Yeah.
It's cool. I'm glad it came with the game. I don't give a crap about racing. And if you look at the games I have out, I have one other racing game out here, and that's just because of the significance to the system. I said I wanted SmackDown, and which was just bring it. And he kept fighting me, and I kept whining and complaining and cajoling. Finally, he goes, "Fine, here." He got it for me because we had our family Christmas before Christmas Day.
He was trying to swerve you.
He was trying to swerve me, so I got SmackDown. Just bring it, which notorious long ass load times. Holy crap! Fall asleep.
Yeah.
Load times. Go take a crap. Come back. Still loading.
Take another nap. Still loading. No.
Well, I mean, it is so long. Like to do anything on this game is long as crap.
Casket match in that one?
No,
They took it away.
this one had this is the first SmackDown that had actual entrances, and this one had Taz and Michael Cole basically having strokes, calling the action. Michael Cole calling the wrong moves. Doing a Death Valley Driver, a reverse Death Valley Driver is like, pump handle slam!
Really?
And Taz is like, he is the best hardcore champion we ever had.
So that was in an era where, obviously, it was still very early on in
Here's the
figuring
thing.
it out.
Well, WCW Mayhem had better announcing than this.
Was that Mayhem the one where everything was backstage?
No, that was Backstage Assault. Mayhem was the one where, it was the one before that, where they had Tony Schiavone and Bobby Heenan. But I just remember Jason created his dude on here, and his call name was Liger. Like Jushin Thunder Liger,
Yeah.
right? Taz could not say the word Liger.
Uh-oh.
He said Rigger. Rigger!
Oh, man.
We had a lot of fun with this. The creation mode on here, you could make Super Saiyans first time.
Because they had the hair.
They had a bunch of different kind of hair, and like all the creative wrestlers had no teeth. They just had like pink mouths, and looked like old men walking around. A lot of fun with that game though. So yeah, those are my first couple PS2 games, and it wouldn't be until I think February that I got MGS2. In fact, I actually just rented PS2, or I rented MGS2 and ended up getting Substance when that came out, which I think was 2003 or 4. Yeah, 2003. This had the Sons of Liberty game. It had the VR missions. It had Snake Tales, because basically that's a thing. That's like you play a snake in some levels, and they make some new gameplay stuff, and they give you pages for cutscenes.
Yeah.
And it's like little mini non-canon stories where you play a snake because people are complaining that you didn't play a snake enough in that game.
Spoiler alert.
Is what it is. I still have my original memory card that I got. Where'd it go? It was here. The green one.
The green one?
The green one.
That one?
Yes. The Mad Cats. This is my first memory card.
Trying to stave off a sneezing attack, by the way.
Yeah.
It's getting me.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Was it that dust?
A little bit, yeah. The little dust kind of got in my nose, and it hasn't been able to escape. But
all right, so I still have my original data for this. As I smack my mic, 92% on VR missions done on this. I only need, I think, Naked Raiden and Tuxedo Snake, maybe.
wow.
Maybe not even that. I don't remember. But I remember, like, I lost this for like a year and a half. I misplaced it, and I'm like, where's my other data? Because it was on my fat PS3, which means it's on my slim PS3, but I can't utilize it on the slim PS3. It's just there.
Oh no!
Because the slim PS3 is not backwards compatible. Which, good transition. PS2 was the first backwards compatible system
Ever. Yeah.
It is completely backwards compatible with your PS1 and PS1 memory cards. That was an accident. They didn't mean for that to happen.
Really?
It was a happy accident. They decided to make this thing kind of like a media center. Have it play, because this was the first console that could play DVDs, and it was the first
Could play CDs too.
you could play CDs, and so the capability for it to play CDs meant that they figured out one day that it could play PlayStation games, and they were like, let's do a little tweaking on this and just perfect it and put it out.
Yeah. I mean, they started the backwards compatibility movement.
From what I understand, they didn't have to do a whole lot to get it to work.
Which is why you have the very similar ports for the memory cards
And controllers, which the PS2 controller, the DualShock 2, is the DualShock 1 with some minor
Adjustments.
internal adjustments.
Different logo here too.
There's a different logo. I think there might be some digital. I'm not sure if they started that on this or if it was on the PS3. Button presses. I think it might still be analog. Where like, how hard you press the button.
Determined how much pressure was being put on it
Like
in the
yeah,
game.
like it could read that. So I have that one, and then I ended up getting this, which is a see-through green at Goodwill, which I still haven't cleaned.
$3.99.
It's in good condition. It just needs to be kind of grimed out and cleaned. Yeah, a lot of times at Goodwill, if you're collecting, if anybody else knows, man, that is just horrible. You'll find some really crappy condition stuff. Sticks torn up. Regular 8 megabyte memory card, which is what that other one is too. Yeah, it's just a regular black one. It's the PS2, it's a real Sony one. I got this, I think, from Rob, maybe? I don't remember.
Do you think at some point they'll people will go back retroactively and make 20 gig or 50 gig little PS2 carts so you can just have one for your whole collection?
That'd be neat.
Because I know that Retron systems and stuff have the ability to backwards reverse engineer stuff into their consoles because of statute of limitations for how long copyright claims are for.
Right.
So I wonder, since we're in an era now where there are no memory cards, when will they start revamping memory cards to put? Now you can get 128 gigs on a tiny little, thing, and that's
Well, for the GameCube, when we just did that GameCube episode of
Yeah.
Game Addicts with Mike, he went and bought a GameCube bundle that had an unopened memory card on there, and it was 64 times the regular amount
whoa.
of size. It was absolutely crazy. I think I have a 2 times, and then he has a 16 times and a 64 times. I'm like,
Wow.
crazy. The next game I want to talk about is a game called The Bouncer. Now, this was a near launch release. I actually thought this was a launch release. But this is pretty near. This is made by Square. Squaresoft. This is before the Enix. And you play as one of 3 characters, which I do believe one is... His name is Ko. One is named Volt. And the other one is Scion. And Volt is the big muscly guy. Ko is voiced by the guy that does Spike Spiegel.
Cowboy Bebop?
From Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
And he's in almost everything. He's like a smart ass. Literally, you run around. It's a beat 'em up. You can beat the game in 45 minutes if you blaze through it.
So you could play as all 3 characters and beat the game in under 3 hours.
Yes.
Wow.
Me and Jason played this and we beat it. And we're like, what? That's it? And then if you beat the game 3 times, you get the final boss is an alternate outfit, and then you beat him and you get some sort of something. I can't remember. So yeah, in one night we got that.
Back when you could beat games and get rewards unlocked for beating the game to make you want to play the game more, not, hey, download this content.
Right, yeah. But there's just so many games that came out for the PS2. This was a launch title, Tekken Tag Tournament, which I really dug some of the Tekkens on PS1.
Yeah.
And then, of course, arcade. I played Tekken 2 a lot in the arcade. I want to say this is a... Now, we said that the PS2 can play DVDs and CDs. So there are some PS2 games that are bluebacks.
You know what? I could have brought a blue back, and I totally forgot. Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
All right, so these are actual CDs, not DVDs. If you look at the disc, it's this compact disc.
So is that just a space saver and a money saver in that regard? Because that's a higher... I mean, CDs are cheaper at that point than DVDs. It's a higher margin.
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to think that, like, they took account of how much space the game is going to be taking. And so I would think that the blueback was only just designed just to set it apart, because if you look at any of the other DVD games, I'll just pull one here. Jak and Daxter. We'll talk about Jak and Daxter in a second. That's a DVD one. It's of course like normal, kind of like clear color, but also has like the PS logo.
Yeah.
Kind of embroidered in there somewhere. So Jak and Daxter series, made by Naughty Dog. These are the guys that made
Uncharted.
Uncharted later on, but Crash Bandicoot.
Yes.
From the PS1 era. This was their evolution, was Jak and Daxter. An awesome game. I mean, this is like a big third-person platformer action game. And of course, as they went on, they got like more bigger and badass and a little bit more open world with them.
Yeah.
Of course, you have your first one, so obviously it looks more kid-friendly. And then, oh, look at that, he's got a gun now.
Now he's a teenager.
Now he's a teenager. And I can't remember which one he starts talking in. He doesn't talk in the first one. I can't remember if he starts talking in the second one or the third one. But actually, my case is all tore up on the third one.
Really?
Yeah, I just noticed that.
Oh, jeez.
But
it still has part of the original sticker.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's probably why I didn't change it. I'm like that sometimes. I'm like, I'm not changing that.
Gotta keep it.
But really cool entry. So they did this. They did Crash 1, 2, and 3.
Yep.
And then they did Crash Team Racing. So they did Jak 1, 2, and 3. And then they did Jak X Combat Racing, which is like a mix between a kart racer and Twisted Metal.
Groovy.
Badass. This game is badass. I cannot wait to get us to where we're streaming.
So you can play some?
So we can play some of that, because that's a really cool game to play.
Twisted Metal, huh?
Yeah.
There was another entry of Twisted Metal in the PS2 era. There was only one, right?
2, technically.
Technically.
All right, so what we have here is Twisted Metal Black.
Yep.
And this is my Greatest Hits online edition. This came out later. They did add on a online mode. So it comes with 2 discs, one with the regular game and one with the online disc. Huh. So you can play, Twisted Metal Black online. This game was awesome. This game was a return to form. Of course, there were Twisted Metal 1, 2, 3, and 4 on PS1. And 1 and 2 were badass. And 3 was like, man, what are they doing? And 4 is like, what have you done?
Yeah.
It slowly got worse. This game was a return to form. This game was disturbing. This game was awesome. It had a really, it had Paint It Black as like the main theme song of the game. I remember that. But the other game they had was called Twisted Metal Head On, which is a port of the PSP game.
That came out later.
It came out later. Now, see, that's the thing, that the PS2 was around so long, it got ports from other systems. They got ports from PSP.
Newer systems.
Because the PSP came out in like 2004, 2005, and there are quite a few PSP ports onto the PS2. You have Head On. You had the Siphon Filter, Dark Mirror, and Logan Shadows.
Uh-huh.
I have one over there called Tokobot Plus, because I had Tokobot on the PSP, and then Plus is the one that's on PS2.
Oh.
And trust me, I was hoping they were going to put Crisis Core.
They never did.
No, bastards. Never happened. However, we did get, I think the PS2 did get a port of Chain of Memories.
I think so.
Which that was on the DS, I think. It's like RE Chain of Memories instead of just Chain of Memories.
Yeah, I think
like
so.
Like a card-based battle or something. But yeah. What am I going to talk about next? You know what? All right. So we're going to talk about this game.
So 10.
Final Fantasy 10. Big Final Fantasy fan. Started at 7. 8, 9, went back and played through 4. Did never finish 6.
Really?
I've never finished 6. I've
That's-
always gotten to like a certain point in 6, and then I've always gotten distracted. I don't dislike it. I like it, but it's because I haven't finished it. I can't say it's in my top.
Because you don't know the end.
Well,
Technically.
I know the end, but unfortunately, because of that, is my experience with it has been kind of robbed.
That kind of sucks.
It does, but playing this game was tough. The sphere grid that they introduced, so grindy. I was not a grindy person at the time. I was run away and play the story. That kind of sucks when you're fighting bosses and you get stuck on Seymour up on the mountains for 6 months.
Oh, no.
And then you come back and you beat them. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that happened. I just came back one day, months later, forgot what was going on in the story, blazed through them.
Just crushed it.
Yeah.
Weird.
I know. And then from there on, I went and beat the game. But yeah, I want to say this came out in 2002, like maybe the January, February 2002. The trailers alone for this on TV, I was like blown away. They did a lot with this game, but that was also like the first game that had a sequel.
10-2.
10-2 was the first Final Fantasy to have a actual sequel, an extension of the story.
This game caught a lot of flack from people.
It did.
It really. I do recall when it came out, the commercials of the 3 main characters dancing and stuff. People were like, "What?
Very J-pop.
Is this?"
It was not the Yuna in this game is a far departure to where she was in the first game. Granted, the entire world has changed since you've beaten the first game. It's a completely different world, but it's a very stark difference for her. It's like for her to change as much as she did, you're like, what? What is going on here, man? And she has this really weird ponytail thing going on.
Yeah.
Like her hair's the same up here except for the ponytail, and then she has like this Lara Croft thing that she has like 2 guns and stuff that she shoots with, and it's just, I don't know. It's like some people like it. The battle system is badass in this game. Mm-hmm. The ATB system they have set up for this is really cool. They have dress spheres, and where they change their clothes mid battle. That's their job, so they can change jobs mid battle.
Huh.
So like in FF10, you could change your character mid battle.
Yeah.
In some cases, and this one you only have the 3 characters, but they can literally level up different jobs. You can switch jobs based on what you needed.
That's awesome.
The story was a little subpar in comparison to the original. They left it open for a 3rd. They never did it, and I kind of wish they would have, because I kind of feel like that could be like the penultimate. Like, it's hard to top 10, but you would, after this being like the middle of like the sandwich, you might be able to have like a really cool finale.
Yeah.
That could maybe even rival the original. But next, I want to talk about Onimusha. Did you ever play Onimusha?
Onimusha. No, I will say though, I watched you play a lot of this, or maybe it was Jason. It might have been both of you. I don't recall.
So originally, back in the day, I only ever played the original.
Okay.
And of course, that one was the more Resident Evil feeling of the games. Basically, these games are very like Resident Evil with samurai.
Cool.
As they go on, they get a little bit more actiony.
Yeah, then they got that actor for the 3rd one.
Yeah, I just saw his name on here. Jean Reno.
Yeah.
Jean Reno. So like this is a series I wish they would bring back and do like a. At this point, I bet they could do a whole new reboot of it, and it would just blow up,
Yeah.
But Onimusha is a really cool series, and something that I kind of feel like has just kind of been forgotten lately. And I think by the time they got to the 3rd one, the series kind of had wore on a little bit. And then I want to say there might be a couple more out there on the
Maybe PSP or something?
I think there was an entry on the Xbox, but I can't remember if there's one after this. But I know that when I was collecting, I wanted to make sure I got the original trilogy, and then from there on, it was like I don't remember. All right, we're gonna talk about. So I told you GTA 3 was the first game I ever played. Vice City.
The best GTA I ever played.
Probably yes. I could probably say that.
Story with Tommy is awesome throughout. The story is really fun to play. The missions are interesting. Mm-hmm. At some point, you're working for and against everybody. There's a group of guys that you're doing missions for, and then there's another group of guys that you're doing missions for, and those group of guys are shooting at the other group of guys you're doing missions for, and you're still shooting at those guys, and then shooting at the other guys from the other side. They went the extra mile. I think, is it Carl is the dude's name, the crazy drunk redneck guy that blows you up or blows himself up, and you have to like, you're all messed up, and they make you panic mode drive him to the hospital
because he's been like drinking like the moonshine.
Correct, all day, and then like he blows his leg
And
off
like
or something.
Tommy's just drunk from being around. He gets contact drunk.
Yeah, but I love that they made him very much the Tony Montana-esque character.
Yeah.
You know.
Of course, Ray Liotta voices Tommy. Now, this is not my original copy. I actually sold that years ago to somebody who was like very interested in playing it. But I picked up this box set brand new at Walmart like 2 years ago.
Probably like $20.
Yep, $20. And at the time, all three games combined were going for $18 used.
Oh.
So I'm like, I'll get them brand new. Vice City, best soundtrack. Again, the best soundtrack for almost any game I ever played.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just going to pull this open because they have the listings in the back.
Symphony of Destruction's in there.
Yeah, dude. Well,
Or is it Symphony or is it was it Hangar 18? Which one did they use? Which Megadeth?
Cells.
It was P Cells. Thank
right,
you.
So this game has its own band called Love Fist.
Yep.
And they actually made some original songs called Fist Till Morning, Down, 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 and Dangerous Bastard. Love that. I also love the Cherry Popper Ice Cream Company. Really fun there. So now, music. We'll start with Flash FM. This is like the pop station. You have Hall & Oates, Out of Touch. You have Michael Jackson, Billie Jean.
Cool.
You have Go West, Call Me, Bryan Adams, Run to You, ELO, Electric Light Orchestra, Four Little Diamonds, Yes, Owner of a Lonely Heart. And that's really all the ones that I like on that one. Let's see. Let's go over here to. So there's another station called Fever. I never really listened to Fever. But it's got another Michael Jackson song, "Wanna Be Starting Something." It's got Rick James, "Ghetto Life." Got Cool in the Gang, Summer Madness. Then we get to V-Rock, Twisted Sister, I Wanna Rock, Motley Crue, Too Young to Fall in Love, Quiet Riot, Come On Feel the Noise, The Cult, She Sells Sanctuary, Ozzy, Bark at the Moon, Love Fist with Dangerous Bastard. I love how they just put that on there.
Yep.
Iron Maiden, 2 Minutes to Midnight,
Awesome.
Loverboy, Working for the Weekend,
Cool.
Alcatraz, God Bless Video, Tesla, Coming at You Live, Autograph, Turn Up the Radio, Megadeth, Peace Cells, Anthrax, Madhouse, Slayer, Raining Blood.
Awesome.
Priest, or Judas Priest, I should say, You've Got Another Thing Coming. Rockstar's Love Fist is Fist Fury. And then David Lee Roth, Yankee Rose. And then you've got Emotion. Which is like more like love songs. Foreigner, Waiting for a Girl Like You, REO Speedwagon from Danville, Illinois. Keep on Loving You, Cutting Crew, I Just Died in Your Arms. Toto, Africa. Mr. Broken Wings. John Waite, Missing You. Night Ranger, Sister Christian. Tons of freaking songs on here.
So many songs, dude. The crazy thing about this game is you could have fun just driving around listening to the radio.
Oh yeah, and see, along with the actual songs, they also had like VCPR, which is like this they had this discussion show on there with a bunch of characters. It was really funny. They had K-Chat, which is like Chatterbox, kind of like from 3, and it was just like a bunch of conversation and whatnot. But Vice City, I got this day one. I got this day one. I asked my dad for it. And I was at Jason's house, and I was eagerly awaiting him to get home from work. It was a late night for him, and he was gonna come pick me up. And I looked up cheat codes because the game just came out that day. I'm like, cheat codes.
Yeah.
And there's only one, the Flying Dodo.
Oh.
Where you got your car to float.
Yeah.
After driving so far, and I wrote it down. I'm like, whatever, it's just cheat code. And then he picked me up, and he said they didn't have it. They were sold out by the time I got there. I'm like. We get home, it's sitting there on the counter. He did that a lot with me. That's like emotional abuse right there.
Man, you got that from my dad too. Remember when he told you your guitar didn't come in?
Yeah.
And there was problem and like you should, we're going to have to figure this out. Come to the house. And we were just like, "Oh man, that sucks." And then the guitar was obviously there.
Yeah, dude, that happened again. We're gonna go ahead and talk about this next one. Anyway, the last Grand Theft Auto.
Oh. Another game I logged a lot of hours in. My first soiree into this was with Tony, our friend Tony. This
You
has
actually spent the night at my house and played this.
yeah. Oh, you got this first.
Rob got it and I borrowed it from him.
That's
That
right.
was in I think that might have been either late October, early November 04. We ended up playing that.
Yeah. So I guess my second soiree was with Tony, and we did the cheat code thing, and you could do like the gimp suit, and then you could go into the police station and get the giant purple dildo to use as a weapon. But the thing is if you used the gimp suit cheat code, it could crash your system. So the first time we tried it, his system crashed, but the second time we got it to work, and then of course we were gimp suit. Wah! And it was weird. It was a super weird experience.
This. I remember the sheer size of this game at the time was mind blowing.
Yeah.
I've actually tried to replay this on the 360 because they put out a 360 and PS3 version of this, and the graphics are pretty bad.
Really?
They don't age well for these old GTA games. They do not. I mean, they just don't, especially when you're playing it. But I remember how they added the whole Sims level of control of your character, where you can control his fitness, his hunger, his fatness.
Yep.
His you can change his outfit, you can change his hair. It's like everything that you wanted. Whereas in Vice City, you could kind of change out through a few outfits. This let you just customize everything completely.
Yeah. This San Andreas is great. I will say this is a little bit of Rockstar's growing pains. I think that San Andreas and 4 kind of teeter in the middle, but when they got back to 5, it was just woo.
And the 5 is the best game they've ever made.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
It's there's no question. But 5, I really felt see, when they went to 4, they almost had to start over.
Yeah.
Because they took 3 in Vice City, and this was the penultimate from that, of everything they learned with using that engine and everything.
Yep.
And they went to 4, and they we have to rein things back because we have to figure out how everything works. By the time they get to 5,
well-oiled machine.
there you go, man. But all 3 of these games were really well worth getting. They all tie together into a story, a big universal story where Vice City takes place in the 80s, San Andreas takes place in the early 90s, and GTA 3 takes place in the early 2000s. So, and they're all in the same universe. There's some characters who kind of
overlap
a little bit. But the cool thing is that the main story, you don't have to play one to really enjoy the other one. Man, let's go to let's go to Eco. Did you ever play Eco?
I have Ico and Shadow of the Colossus on PS3 as the Recollect, and I think I have it on PS2 as well. I'm going to game eye that to confirm or deny.
I never played this back in the day. I never did end up getting around to it. This is also one of the compact disc bluebacks. I ended up buying this as part of my collection. I don't own the re-release, but I wanted the original. Of course, they also, the same company from Sony, made Shadow Colossus, which is by and large the more revered game of the bunch.
Yeah.
Of the two. In fact, they're making a full-on PS4 remake of this.
And didn't they just release the sequel to this, The Last Guardian?
It's not necessarily a sequel. It's not necessarily a sequel. It's more like you have Eco, Shadow Colossus, and then Last Guardian is it's there's a little bit of spiritual okay, this is the next step in this, and then that's the next step. So
gotcha.
So they did Last Guardian was released. Eco, okay, so Eco, I ended up buying this game near Indy, finding it in a case. It was wrapped in a saran, like a plastic wrap. And I'm like, oh, cool, man. People want to take care of it. I got it home. No disc. Yeah, somebody had logged the disc into their system, so I called them up.
And I'm like, hey, bought a game there called Eco.
That ain't cool.
I got it from the case, and it's empty. He asked me to tell him the code from Disc Replay. They put like a little code in here. And I read him the code, and he goes, yep, here it is, right here. And he goes, all right, man, if you want to just come back down, we'll get you that. I'm like, well, I live in Frankfurt, so I'll come down tomorrow. He goes, that's fine. I'll set it aside with a note on it. Let whoever's going to be here tomorrow let them know you're going to come and pick it up. And then I bought Shadow Colossus a long time ago. It might have been on my original collecting spree when I went out.
Wow.
Actually, I have it in here.
Oh, wow.
This is always cool. Date. I'm looking for a date. Can I get a date? This wasn't on my original spree.
2014.
Well, this is December of that year. So later on that year. But I bought a bunch of other games there as well. I spent $72 there.
Anything good? Does it say?
Star Wars Rebel Assault 2.
Cool.
On PS1. Onimusha 3. Star Wars Battlefront 2. Which I didn't put out here. It's over there.
I see it.
Shadow Colossus. Rad Racer on the NES.
Cool.
Dragon Warrior on the NES. Final Fantasy Tactics. Which... Don't know if that is the...
PS1 or
PS1.
PSP?
No, that was Game Boy Advance.
Oh.
It had to have been Game Boy Advance. Snake's Revenge.
Wow.
Metal Gear, the unofficial. And then Zombies Ate My Neighbors on Genesis.
Sick.
So, really cool. Always really cool to find those.
That was like a month, or that was like almost a year after we started journeying to comics.
Yeah.
At that point that you had got those games.
If you want to start bringing in some games that you brought.
Oh, dude. Well, the thing is that I kind of have two piles, and I don't know how we want to get into that because I have like the hits from the system.
Do the hits first.
Okay.
And just kind of cycle through. Yeah. Because what I'm going to do is that's kind of what I'm going through. I'm going through like some of the big hits, and then some of my more sleeper ones are later.
I'm going to do this alphabetically because it's all I know.
Well, like you can do one, and then I can do another one.
Oh, yeah, sure. But so I'm going to start with Bully.
Badass.
Scholarship Edition is what I have. So like I was telling you, I have the dodgeball. I should have brought it. It came in a locker. Mm-hmm. Like the locker's probably this tall, and it's cardboard. It's probably about that big, but the dodgeball comes flat, and you have to blow it up. But this game, actually, I've never played on PlayStation 2, admittedly. I beat it on 360 with the legendary story of it not giving me 100%, even though I 100%ed the game and beat everything. But this is one of my favorite games, and I had to own an original. I just got lucky, and when I was working at GameStop, a collector's edition unopened came through, and I had to mine.
The original is actually were like when they redid it, 360 and Wii U, they added some more stuff, some more classes.
Oh, I didn't know.
The music class, they added that, and they added another class too. I can't remember what it was, but so yeah, like that's like the definitive version to get.
Yeah,
it added some stuff, but this version, I logged a lot of hours into this. I got this. This came out in 2006, fall. I was playing the crap out of this. I remember working at the window factory, rushing home just so I could play this all night.
Let me see this real quick. Hey, Rockstar, this is a series you need to bring back. We're waiting for Bully 2.
Hell yeah.
To do another game with modern graphics, with updated engines and everything, would be next level.
Oh, dude, it'd be great.
I mean, just saying, you know.
Oh, yeah. Here next, I'm going to talk about Ratchet and Clank. I think I have 2 Ratchet and Clank games. There's multiple ones. This is the original. They just remade this for PS4, or did like a whole new version. They actually even released a movie. And this was made by Insomniac. And this and like Jack are like the big PlayStation era platformer,
home runs.
Like platformer action games. No, you're fine. But yeah, like just a lot of craziness. A lot of absolute craziness. A lot of those like big ass weird guns and everything. I think the other one I have is like it's called Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal.
Yeah, that was on the PS2 for sure. Now, with the Ratchet and Clank series, real quick to touch on that, I didn't play any on PS2. I was into weirder titles, especially by the time I got into collecting. I was looking for obscure weirdness. I had seen a lot of the cool games you had shown me, Sarah had showed me, but it was like we'll get into some of those hidden gems in a minute. But with with what game was that? We were just
Ratchet.
Oh yeah, with Ratchet. Sorry, PS3 was my first run with the first Ratchet game on PS3, which was something about future. I can't remember something future, but I loved it, and I've always wanted to at some point go back and get all the PS2 games and beat them all, because that to me, it's a different kind of playing. Like it's a different kind of gaming. And it's just quirky, you know?
Yeah.
It's fun.
Absolutely.
Another hit for the series. You asked me to bring this one.
Which is funny because I actually own it.
Yeah.
I forgot I owned it.
Devil May Cry.
That was pitched as a Resident Evil title.
Really?
Yeah.
And they switched it to be its own IP?
Yeah, like that was one of the they had a couple of titles in development and they were looking for Resident Evil 4. That was one of the ones that were pitched to be Resident Evil 4.
Huh.
And they just kind of decided it was a little too different, but it was a really cool idea. So they went ahead and ran with it. It's kind of like a mix between a Resident Evil and like a Castlevania type thing. So they just kind of ran with it and went with that. And then, of course, what became Resident Evil 4 was Resident Evil 4, which was originally on the GameCube.
Yeah.
It was exclusive there. Now, the GameCube is a little bit more powerful than the old PS2 here, and they were able to put this game on the console, and it runs fairly well.
That game has, correct me if I'm wrong, 3 releases? PS2, Wii, and GameCube?
This game, Resident Evil 4, was released on the GameCube first, then the PS2, and then the Wii, and then the PS3.
What'd they do, like a collection?
HD.
Oh.
And then now it's available on its own on the Xbox One and PS4.
Wow.
You can go to GameStop if that's where if you want to go there.
If you want to go there.
But you can buy Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6 standalone for like $20 a piece.
That's not bad. 3 games for the price of 1.
Yeah, pretty much.
Of course, 4 and 5 are really the winners in that. I didn't play 6.
I played the demo for 6 and said, no.
Nope. Next on the list is probably... This is going to be conflicting because I don't know what I've said on this show before, but this might be my favorite game series all time. Damn close. God of War. This game, I fondly remember my first experience with this game. And I'm going to take you through that in a little short story here. So I went to buy the new Slipknot album in 2005. It was Volume 3, okay? And that was around the time this game was about to launch. I think it came out like later in 2005, maybe like August, September, maybe. I might be wrong about that. But what I remember is I went to Sam Goody in Danville, and they had an old PS2 demo unit.
Yeah.
With this in it. I played the first level. I beat the Hydra, and I fell in love. I was like, I don't know what this game is, but as soon as I can get it, I'm going to have it. I asked the dude. He said, God of War. I think it's coming out soon. Pre-order. And I said, no. And then, like, the day it came out, I went to Walmart and bought a copy of it. And I beat it in, like, probably 6 days. I loved it. And I still go back and play this. I've beat 2, beat 3. I never beat Ascension, interestingly enough. And I beat all the PSP games. And I even own the remasters on PS3 because of how much I love this series. This game actually had, to tie it up, one of my favorite things is it had real Easter eggs in the game. When you're getting ready to go to the last boss, there are 2 statues. If you just beat the fuck out of them with the Chains of Olympus for like 10 minutes, they both break. Once they both broke, a number pops up on the screen. You could call that phone number, and it was a secret hotline for God of War where you would hear Tim Jaffe, I think is his name, the guy that created this. Talk about the game and like, wow, I can't believe you actually found that. We hid that deep, blah, blah, blah. And then Kratos would talk to you for a minute, and then it would hang up. It was automated, obviously. Yeah. But it was cool that they had such foresight to be like, we can hide something like this in here, and hopefully people are smart enough to get it, you know? And, yeah, God of War.
So God of War 2.
Hey!
Of course, this is the sequel, and this is pretty much a swan song.
Man, it was badass.
For the PS2, this came out in 2006, and... it was like right around the time the PS3 launched.
You know what we nicknamed this at GameStop? The System Killer. because it burned up more systems than anything else.
I bet.
Playing God of War 2 and my system stopped working. What's up? Oh, well, that really shouldn't be on the PS2. We kept telling people, like, it pushes your PS2 as far as it can go. I was really, really happy when God of War 2 came out, and again, smashed through it.
I ended up getting this for free. I don't have a manual, but I do have both discs. The store that I went to, I decided to pick this up first time going there, and he got the games out. And he's like, man, these discs are scratched. I don't know how this got out there. I'm sorry. He goes, I'll go ahead and polish this for you. And then he polished them for me. I'm like, okay, that's kind of normal. The stores I go to, they normally do that anyway. Yeah. And he goes, you know what? I'll tell you what. I'm gonna give this to you for free, and if it messes up, give me a call. We'll exchange it and try and get another copy or another game. I'm like, okay. He goes. I just don't want you to get off on the wrong foot here. I'm like, thank you.
Appreciate it, yeah.
And because he gave this to me for free is why I went back for Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, and that was a big score for you. Now, interestingly enough, the next game I'm going to pull, which is 2 games in a row, you're going to be able to talk about more than I am. Okay. Because I've never played them. Okay. I started them, first one, but I never beat them. Okay. So, Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts. I want you to bring this. Do you have the other one?
Yes, sir. Kingdom Hearts 2.
I'll go ahead and talk about both of them. So, Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. So, I don't own these yet on the PS2. I keep passing them up because I want the copies that are holographic.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they're still like 15, 16, 17 bucks a piece. Just depending.
Now, question, does that price vary based on if you have the holographic covers or not?
Not really. Because you'll find the same price for the greatest hits.
Gotcha.
I do have them for the PS3 for the HD re-release.
Mm-hmm.
So the problem is that because I have that, I'm not as pressed to hunt these down. But I remember getting Kingdom Hearts, renting it, and falling in love with it. It's this unique blend of Final Fantasy and Disney.
That works.
Somehow it works. I really don't understand how it works. And it's like you play as Sora and you have 2 teammates. It's Donald and Goofy, right? Donald Duck and Goofy, the dog. Is Goofy a dog?
I think so.
Then like, what's up with Pluto? Because
Pluto's like a real dog, but Goofy's like an evolved human dog, maybe.
Dude, that's some crazy shit.
He like fused. He did a fusion dance with a human.
But I mean, some of the villains, like especially with Maleficent and Jafar, really work. They're right here on the back. And then I think I don't know if you actually fight Hades in this one, but I know you fight him in the second one.
Now, in these games, are the villains all Disney villains, and you're bringing like Cloud and them into the fold?
All right. So how this works is that you play as Sora, and you are hunting for King Mickey in the first one, right? And it's this big complicated story about how the Heartless are destroying worlds, and people who are like the Heartless are taking over these worlds, and a lot of the Disney worlds and Final Fantasy worlds are being taken over. So a lot of people have fled their homes and they've lost their homes. A lot of the Final Fantasy homes have already been destroyed.
Whoa.
So in some cases, like when you go to a planet, you get an additional party member, like Ariel or Peter Pan or Tarzan. I think from this one, maybe even Jack Skellington. I can't remember. I know you can go to Halloween Town.
Cool.
But in this one, you also get like Mulan. You get Simba, I think, and then I think you get Jack Sparrow. Boom. That is Game Shark, isn't it?
Infinite HP, level up. Mummy or money, maybe?
Money. Yep. MUNNY. That's what they call the
money.
But when you go to Hades on this one, of course you have to fight Hades. Orin from Final Fantasy X joins you. In FF10, he's really dead. So it's really cool because he's in Hades.
Oh, that's genius.
I love the little intricate ways they do this. In this one, you go to the Little Mermaid world, Peter Pan, Jack Skellington, Agrabah, and come on now, Sleeping Beauty.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, no, Alice in Wonderland.
Gotcha.
You go to Alice in Wonderland, which that's a really trippy one.
I bet.
To go into. And then in this one, you go to the Pride Lands from Lion King. You go to Mulan's world. You go to I think you return to Agrabah. You go to the Pirates of the Caribbean world.
Man.
You go to the 1920s Mickey world.
Oh, that's cool, like Steamboat Willie era.
Yeah, and then you also go to Tron.
What?
It's right there in the back. You didn't know any of this, did you?
No, I'm gonna have to play these games.
Dude,
as soon as I beat Zelda, I'm going to these next.
You love them? And like, do you have them on PS3?
No,
So you like
I'm
the
gonna
PS2?
have I'm gonna play it on this actual system.
Okay. So on both of these, there's a super secret boss.
Okay. Sephiroth.
Sephiroth.
Okay.
And he's tough on both of them.
Okay. Yeah.
Kick your ass tough.
Okay.
As in, like, use those cheat codes.
Oh Jesus. Okay.
Kick your ass. In the first one, he's voiced by Lance Bass. I'm not kidding.
Okay. I don't know why Sephiroth needs a voice for this, but okay.
And then Aerith, or Aerith, as they call her, her real name, is voiced by Mandy Moore. And then for this one, they brought in the Advent Children cast.
Oh, that's super
so,
cool.
Like when you run across Cloud, some of these characters you only have runoffs with them. Like you just kind of see them around. You all right?
Did you? You didn't grab Dirge of Cerberus.
I did not grab
Okay.
Dirge of
Okay.
Cerberus.
Okay.
Dirge of Cerberus is not a game that's really a standout game.
No, I was just we were talking Final Fantasy.
You're right.
I was looking.
But okay, so like Squall is in it from 8, but he's renamed himself Leon.
I think I knew that.
Because everybody else from that planet or that from his world died, and he's ashamed of himself, so he's hiding from his past. Even though Selphie is in the beginning of the game as a little girl on like the island, because when you first take over Sora, he's like growing up on an island with a bunch of kids with no parents. Tidus, Waka are there, and Selphie.
This game, I mean, that Keyblade is one of the coolest weapons. It's an iconic weapon, like Kratos' Blades of Chaos and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. This, if you ever see it, one of the like replicas, it's fucking cool.
When you get to this one, you can double wield.
Oh.
With some like specialty Keyblades and stuff. You also like, I don't know if about in the first one, I can't remember that one as clearly as I remember 2, but you get like Keyblades inspired by weapons from FF. It's like the Gunblade type Keyblade. You know, all that kind of stuff. So, Kingdom Hearts 3 now. They have an opportunity at their hands with Disney to do Star Wars. And I want them to do that. So, what I'm going to talk about next before we get any more games is the system redesign. Of course, I mean, look at this.
2005, this was when it dropped?
2004, I think I just saw on Wikipedia.
Okay.
So, look at this. This system could eat this system.
Twice.
Dude, like, it is absolutely crazy how much they were able to shrink this down. And just like the other ones, you have the two they still have the 2 USB ports.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they have the same memory cards and the same controllers. They're able to fit that in there. On this one, there is no switch on the back. On the back, there is a different type of power input because they actually have a power brick. So the power supply is not in the console itself. They have the multi-AV out. You have the digital optical out for your home theaters and headsets, if that supports it. Mm-hmm. Your network adapter, which is built in.
Uh-huh.
So, and then on this one, you have just open button. There is no moving tray component here.
God, I loved this system.
And then you have your power reset button over here. And still, the system, if you get a vertical stand, because I wouldn't trust it to stand like this, like this. And even though it's smaller, you can still move the little PS logo. They kept that there. I thought that was neat.
These two systems are the first systems with USB support? Dreamcast didn't, did they?
No. I don't think Dreamcast did, no. I mean, Dreamcast does have Windows on it, but I think this is the first one.
I know that when I first saw this Fat Boy PS2, I had no idea what these two were even for.
I didn't even know either.
What the fuck do you use this for?
I had no idea.
You know what? No. Typing of the Dead for Dreamcast had a Dreamcast port controller. For some reason, I thought it was a USB.
No.
But no, it wasn't.
No. That's why they're more expensive than that's why you can't just use a typical USB keyboard for
I have the keyboard for Typing of the Dead.
Nice.
But I don't have Typing of the Dead.
Oh.
So That's a $70 hunt at some point. American version, I can get it for $20 Japanese.
All right, so what I'm going to talk about next is
This I want this to work, and it just keeps not working. We have the same game. You brought yours, I brought mine. Subsistence. Yours is the original non-collector's edition. They did this in red.
Yeah.
It's super rare.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. I wanted it too, and that did not happen. Now this came out when I worked at GameStop in like 2007 or 2008.
They were gearing up for
4,
for 4,
which was 08. So
and because the fat PS3, some of them are reverse compatible.
Correct.
They bundled them all together.
So they bundled 1, 2, and 3, and that's where my 1 with a PS2 case comes from. That's one of those weird ones. I have it on PS1.
Yeah.
But I also have a PS2 case from 1.
But it just says PlayStation. It doesn't say PS2.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Now, this is the first appearance of Metal Gear Online.
Mm-hmm.
And the subsistence version, of course, the original game is called Snake Eater. Of course, you could get that and play that. But the subsistence version gives you just a whole slew of goodies.
The DVD had the Paradox video, right?
The Metal Gear Solid Paradox. It was so funny.
Yeah.
Like where like you have like all these instances of like Snake dying and it causing paradoxes, and then you have like I just remember like there's a cutscene where of course a boss loses his eye, right?
Yep.
And he's having problems with his depth perception, and he's putting the C3 explosives on stuff, and then he molds it to a butterfly, throws it in the air, catches it, says "Got you this time," puts it on there, and it goes click. He just blows up in his face. Now on the back of this it says, of course, they also redid the camera for this. Because Snake Eater is originally it has that original MGS top-up camera. Subsistence is the first one that allows you to be able to be behind the character. Very helpful for this game.
Correct.
They also did Snake versus Monkey.
Yep.
You went and got the monkeys from Ape Escape. You also got to play the original Metal Gear, Metal Gear 2 from the MSX. The original version is not the NES version, where they say, you gotta go destroy Metal Gear. And it's like, where's the Metal Gear? It's a computer! Thought it was a tank. Nope.
Nope.
So there's also, which I haven't even tried this, and I have the capability of doing now, game connectivity with Metal Gear Acid 2 on the PSP.
Really?
I wonder what it does.
That is weird. I'm not sure how you would do that. Now, with Metal Gear 3, I recently tried to restart playing it on the Vita with the HD collection. I'm at the end, but I can't find him, and he's also definitely dead, but it didn't prompt that he's dead because I haven't played my Vita in like 3 years. And I just turned it back on, and he doesn't show up. It doesn't prompt anything. It's screwed up. So I'm like kind of stuck in his level.
That's weird.
So I'm going to probably have to kill the whole file, start over.
I'm going to talk about Gran Turismo 4 real quick.
Sure.
Again, I said before I'm not really big into racing games. This game runs in 1080i.
Damn, that's quality.
I put this game in and tested it out. I was blown away with how it looked.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Like, this game should have been a PS3 game. Like, this game came out in 2004. This game was, the sheer quality of just looks of that game.
Yeah, Gran Turismo, it just kept pushing the boundaries, too. Like, super realistic. I mean, they hit the nail on the head calling it a racing simulator, because it gets there.
Did you ever play this game?
Fudge, yeah. I actually don't have my original copy of Destroy All Humans.
I picked this up on a whim because I was like, I'd heard about it. I never played it back in the day, and I love the crap out of it. It's a fun little, it's almost kind of mind numbing.
Yeah.
Just lose yourself in it. Just have a lot of fun. You run around as a little alien, like abducting people, zapping buildings, and getting cows and shit.
And destroying all the humans.
Yeah, I guess so. That's what you call it. But I just remember like crashing the crap out of my UFO.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't get control of the damn thing. There's a second one, and I don't own it yet because I really haven't. Like I've seen it around.
I think there's a third.
There might be a third one.
They came out on
the
360. Yeah.
Let's go ahead and talk about Dark Cloud.
Sure. Now I own both of these as well.
Dark Cloud 1 was my greatest hits. This is 2. Really cool RPGs. I haven't really spent a whole lot of time with them.
No, but they are awesome games. Definitely a good story. Highly rated across the system. It's like maybe one of the best that the PS2 came out with. Everybody is always searching for Dark Cloud and Dark Cloud 2.
Dark Cloud 1's pretty easy to find. Dark Cloud 2 I've only seen twice.
Was one of those times at my house.
Yes, like up north. Well, no, it was in your disc replay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I was making a joke because I have it.
But yeah, big hours consuming RPGs from both of these. Unfortunately, I've never really played them. I really only wanted to bring them up because I have them and I've tested them. Yeah. So I have at least played a little bit of them.
They're on deck to play at some point, obviously.
Of course. I mean, throughout the years, I definitely want to get to play them.
Do you think by the time you reach age 95, you will have played your entire collection at least once?
Buddy.
He said, "Oh, buddy."
I got to get to a point where I can actually successfully be back here for hours on end.
Yeah, well,
without being bothered.
Hey, wait about 16 more years. Getting close. Okay.
We'll see. Well, he's gonna want to be back here playing my games, probably.
That's true. Well, then that's a cool, different experience.
I want to play the PS3.
It's so retro.
Oh, it's so retro, and I'm just like, it's not really that retro.
It's not, man.
It's HDMI. Damn it! He goes, what's that?
Oh, Jesus. All we use now is flop ports. I don't know what a flop port is.
Flop ports.
That'd be really fucked up if, like, in a couple years, flop port is a real thing.
You trademark.
Heard it first here.
Another wrestling game I want to talk about. 06, SmackDown vs. Raw 2006. I've talked about this before.
Hey, it's the two champions that came out of that era.
Yeah. Now, this game is significant. I want to say this is either the first or the second one to have online play.
Oh, I thought you were talking Spinner Belt.
No, I think it's the first Spinner Belt. But this had GM mode, and that's why I want to talk about this.
Sure.
Me and Rob played the crap out of this. Silent Rob, of course, frequent surprise member here on the show.
He's hanging out somewhere.
Yeah. Well, me and him, we worked at the Window Factory, and we worked crazy hours in the summer. I hit the table. Wintertime, got really lax. Like, we would finish our week's worth. We would finish Friday's units on Wednesday. Leave Wednesday, have Thursday and Friday off of work. Don't work. So he would come over, we would drink energy drinks, eat crap, and play GM mode. I still have our file from one of the years where Rob is the champion on Raw, because when you start off a creative wrestler, he's nothing. Mm-hmm. So he built him up all the way to be champion.
Damn.
And I'm pushing. I don't remember if I'm pushing Undertaker or Andre the Giant as champion on SmackDown.
Caw, Andre the Giant?
No, Legend.
Oh, Legend mode.
He's actually on the game. You can get the Legends. Now, what's cool about this is that if you buy the PSP version,
okay,
you can connect them.
Whoa.
You can trade your information back and forth, your created wrestlers back and forth. And if the only way to unlock Jake the Snake on here
is to have it on there.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Did you do that?
No, I use Game Shark.
Oh, gotcha. I don't know how you would connect a PS2 to a PSP. Is there just the USB port? It has a purpose now.
And guess what? When I bought the PSP version of this, and I'm like, how bad is this? I'm like, this isn't bad at all. It's the same freaking game. It just looks kind of worse. And there's no commentary. It just plays the soundtrack, and I love the soundtrack, even the crappy ass rap songs. I grew to like, but like, I just remember like, I even downloaded some of the songs, like on Spotify to a playlist, so that way when I played 2K17, I had the soundtrack for 06.
That's cool.
Playing on Spotify while I was playing. Anyway, yeah, we just put so many freaking hours into this. I think it was this game that had like the story mode where Eddie Guerrero was feuding with the Undertaker. Undertaker put him in a coffin.
It did, for sure. And then that was like not because that came out technically. SmackDown vs. Raw 06 came out in 05.
Yeah,
and that was probably October of 05. And it predated Eddie's death by about a month and a half. And that was everybody's like big freak out. It was like, whoa.
So, really quick here, a cool little accessory. This is the multi-tap. And, of course, this allows you to have 4 players and 4 memory cards. And if you have 2 of these plugged into both, you can have 8. It's freaking crazy.
I don't know. How many games have support for 8, though? Not many,
Probably
right?
football games, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just saw Gran Turismo 4 had support for 6 via LAN. Which I didn't even know that you could do with this, but
If you had the bay and you had 2 Ethernet or an Ethernet cable, yeah, I'm sure you could.
But these, the whole thing has this thing like right here that plugs in right here. The thing is, though, is that this one here is just for the Slim.
Really?
Yes, because
It doesn't match up with the big boy.
it's just a little. It has a little notch in there that doesn't really want to go in.
It went in there.
Yeah, there's like a piece of plastic in there.
Hopefully you didn't break it.
I don't know. I'm talking about your system, not about my damn multi-tap.
Oh, sorry. Oh well, system's broke. Who cares? It's cool though, cause this. I mean,
I plugged it into mine before.
look, it's. I mean,
it's about the same.
it like literally is exact. Like that's crazy. I never had a multi-tap. I don't have a lot of friends.
I got this from Rob. He bought it. I can't remember what game he bought it for. I think it was for Champions in No Wrath.
Okay.
Because he wanted to do a big four-player co-op or whatever.
Speaking of games that we don't have on the table here that are PS2 classics, Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2 is one that is on my list for forever. I played the hell out of that with Goebel back in the day. And I should have pulled the trigger when I worked at GameStop, and I was like, man, I'll get it sometime. And then I never got it. And now I'm just like...
Yeah, I think I have the first Dark Alliance for Xbox.
Cool.
And, of course, you can actually play as Drist. He's a character from the Forgotten Realms.
Oh, yeah. I got you.
Series. But what else am I going to talk about? All right. We're going to talk about...
Do you want to bring out some gems or some hidden
Not yet.
gems?
I still got a few... I got a few big ones on.
Man, this?
Yeah, let's
good to talk about Manhunt. Another Rockstar.
Yeah, made by Rockstar, and this game was controversial, to say the least.
It's also a Stone Cold Steve Austin movie in the future. Because they did, what was that, Condemned? Was that the movie?
Kind of, but this is a little bit different. This is like where he is a convicted killer, and he is set loose with these gangs hunting him down. And basically, he's being coached by a guy in his ear to kill these people trying to kill him. And the dude's recording it, making like snuff films and stuff. But it's very violent. This game was very, very... I still got the registration card in there.
Wow.
This game was definitely violent. They did make a sequel. Came out also for the PS2 and the Wii.
Yeah, both were extremely controversial up until about a week before they went gold to start pressing these. It was supposed to be an NC-17 game. They were going to have released the first NC-17 for PS2 and Wii. But the Wii was so kid-friendly, they were literally put into a position where they were forced to scale it back just enough to get the M. Wow. Yeah. I have 2 copies of Manhunt 2, both on PS2 and Wii.
You let me borrow the Wii version a long time ago.
Did you like it?
Not as much as the first one.
Yeah. The first one was definitely better. The second one was more of like an asylum story.
Yeah.
It was a little bit weird, but the island story is cool because it's just, like you said, you're getting coached through killing other bad dudes.
Yeah, and I didn't like the Wii version.
Because of how it controlled?
I bought the Wii version. I have Manhunt 2 on the Wii somewhere.
Cool. I can't see it, but cool.
It's in there. It's that shelf is like...
Overflow,
big time. Talk about these next.
Can you reach it?
Yeah. Zone of the Enders, 1 and 2. Made by Kojima, Hideo Kojima of Metal Gear Solid. The big thing about the first one is that it came with a demo.
For Sons of Liberty.
And I unfortunately don't have that version. However, I do remember Jason getting this shortly after he got his PS2. And he let me borrow the demo. And I played that demo over and over and over again. It's all in Japanese.
Awesome.
Dude, to me, that's what it sounds like. No offense to anybody that speaks Japanese, but just like I'm sitting there, and Like it's funny because like Snake's voice is always, like has never changed.
No.
It's always the same. You know, we're like, you know, David Hayter kind of does some different, like he does the old man Snake voice and all that stuff. ZOE2 is definitely the better of the two. The first one's a bit short. Second one has a little bit more of an anime feel to it.
They re-released this for PS3
and 360,
and it came with the demo for Revengeance, or was it for?
Yes.
It was Revengeance,
Revengeance.
not Ground Zeroes.
yes.
Cool.
So I think we have just a few more big absolute hitters before we get to gems. So we're going to talk about Final Fantasy 12. Final Fantasy 12. This game has just got re-released on the PS4.
Really?
Yes, we got remastered.
Huh.
So this, by the time this goes to air, this will be out on the PS4 because it comes out right at the beginning of July. So that one's gonna have more stuff that this doesn't. That's gonna be like the international version that has like a different jobs system in there and everything. This game, I first played when I got this game, Dragon Quest VIII. It comes with a demo
For 12.
for 12, and I bought this game. This is my first Dragon Quest game, and of course, what I liked is that it even has like the design for the disc. It's like they're different designs, but that's almost like what the design for Final Fantasy X disc looks like.
Yeah.
And of course, I don't have Final Fantasy 11, which is the online game. I have that on the 360 because I ended up getting the copy that had everything in it.
Cool.
But this is my first Dragon Quest, and I liked it, but I bought it almost
Because
on
of
the
12.
side of the 12 demo, and I booted up and I hated it.
The 12 demo?
Yes, I didn't like it.
It is a very controversial game.
It was the first Final Fantasy besides the online game that got rid of the random battles, and it is, to me, it's like Knights of the Old Republic, which is a great game, but I was not ready for that for Final Fantasy. I'm like, this is my Final Fantasy. I want turn-based RPG, and I got mad, which is funny because that's what Dragon Quest VIII is, turn-based RPG. So I ended up liking it more.
Yeah.
But both of these games, phenomenal games to get. I went back and I played this since. I don't hate it. It's just
Well, that's good.
I wasn't ready at the time. I have not completed it, but I need to find time to do so.
Yeah, man. I've never played 12. And interestingly enough, when I work and more GameStop stories, folks, you guys are gonna like. I feel like we could pick a day where we could just do the GameStop story episode,
Absolutely.
and I could just like give you all kinds of insight. Maybe it would be a collection of stuff I've already said though, so maybe not.
Whatever.
But when 12 came out was right before I started. So when I start at GameStop, they have hundreds. I'm not kidding you. Hundreds of copies of the collector's edition Steelbook. Because as soon as one person played it and said, it's not that good, I don't like the way they did this, these are my reasons, it spread like wildfire in that town. People canceled their pre-orders. So then GameStop was stuck with all this stock that literally by Christmas of that year that I worked there, they put in their Black Friday like $5.99 bin. Wow. And you could get copies of 12 or $5.99. So I do. That's where I got my copy. Was there, Steelbook, brand new, unopened.
Now, see, there's another guy that I've met, and unfortunately, we don't hang out nearly enough. He lives here in Frankfurt. His name's Hank.
Okay.
And he used to work at GameStop.
Oh, cool.
He has a lot of horror stories as well. He commented on a GameStop post about the new Crash game. It's the Insane Trilogy HD. And they're like, hey, come on in and buy the game. And he commented, I'll buy it digitally. And they said, tell us what you think of it. And then he ended up buying a physical copy, probably from Walmart here in town. But no, he has a lot of horror stories about GameStop. As well.
Maybe that would be a fun episode.
That would be awesome to hear.
Just to
sit here and be a fly on the wall between you two conversations. All right, so probably these are the last two really big hits. So, Guitar Hero 1 and 2.
That's why I owned a PS2. Literally, this was the first thing that made me go, I need to own that system. I went out and bought the system the same day I bought Guitar Hero 1 with a warranty at Best Buy. So they replaced my Guitar Hero copy 3 times for broken whammy bars because I had the warranty on it. There was the one time where for some reason I went, yeah, of course I'll buy the warranty. I wasn't even thinking about it, And it happened to work to my advantage. And then with Guitar Hero 2, Spoiler alert, I guess. This is a little bit of this is a secret story that I've never told anybody. So when I worked at McDonald's, they used to do the Monopoly money, right? The Monopoly game.
Yeah.
But they, on the premium chicken sandwiches, would do Best Buy bucks. You could get $5 in Best Buy bucks. Well, they were just codes. And the codes just went on to the online store. So if people threw away their boxes and didn't get that, or if we had boxes that got ruined and the tops were still good, I took those fucking codes until I had $60 worth to buy Guitar Hero 2. I bought it online, had it shipped to the house, and didn't pay a penny.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Rob bought Guitar Hero 1. We played it in Best Buy. First time we ever saw it. It was they had like a
The kiosk.
Yeah, they looked kiosk demo set up, and we fell in love with it. We didn't want to leave because they only had like 3 songs that you could play. Whatever.
It's like I Love Rock and Roll, Wanna Be Sedated, and there was one more because it was from the first level.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the third one was.
But yeah, he ended up buying it, and we played the living crap out of it. And so I remember at the time, me and you weren't necessarily on the best terms.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. So
That was a time in our youth.
yeah. So you had this game, and you could not get past Crossroads
Fuck that song.
on hard, or I think it was it?
Hard. I couldn't give. At that time, I was not very good at all.
Okay, so I had done so. So you asked me if I could do it. I said sure. So I failed a few times, and we were having like a show that day for Drax's, and then we were just hanging out.
I think that was Day on the Gray.
Did we actually name that show?
That was the one basement show.
Well, that was a New Year's Eve show.
Well, no, we did a couple because we did a Day on the Gray show in like mid-March that year.
Okay, this was on New Year's Eve.
Oh, this thing happened on
Yes.
New Year's Eve. Gotcha. Sorry.
Yes, because we had a system set up upstairs.
Uh-huh.
We had a system set up downstairs.
I do recall.
Because downstairs it was some Marvel nemesis.
Yeah, because I wanted it to be Ultimate Alliance because I thought that was the game I bought, and I bought shitty Marvel Nemesis, and it's the worst fucking weird backwater-ass game that exists.
But, so you asked me if I could beat this. So I'm working on it, and I beat it. And I think Rob was there. He's like, nice. And then you come in and go, you did it! Oh, awesome! You gave me a hug, and you went downstairs, and I went, click. I turned off the system.
Rude.
I'm like, take that, you son of a bitch. But anyway, Guitar Hero 2, I bought this Christmas 2006. And you got this from Best Buy in Kokomo. I was over here visiting my wife, my girlfriend at the time. And we went over there to see her family. And we stopped by Best Buy at like 8:30 at night, close at 9. Picked up a box, picked up a guitar because I didn't own the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And bought this. And I got all the way home that night. It was like playing through the songs. And to unlock everything, I wanted to play it on easy first. But I was too good. So I was falling asleep playing it and failing the songs. I kept falling asleep. But they also released other titles for PS2. The Rock the 80s.
Rock the 80s.
I had that one.
They did Band Hero. Of course, those are different titles. Band Hero, Rock Band came out on PS2.
Right, but I kind of consider those more PS3 games.
Did Aerosmith come out on PS2?
Probably, and I think a lot of them came out on PS2.
Yeah.
I think they just I bet almost all of them did. Really, like besides. Like,
Well, no,
very
World
later.
Tour and stuff wouldn't have because those were when they had all the different peripherals. You had the drums, the mic, the guitar, and then at some point they introduced the keyboard. You know. Thing is, here's the fucked up thing. When I first started playing Guitar Hero, and this is like our journey, I was not very good, as you know. Literally, Tony and I sat up all night trying to beat Bark at the Moon on medium, and finally, after like 2.5 hours of continuously back and forth trying the song, I beat it. And it was just like, whoa, and then I started working on hard, and I was not very good. But then, like, meeting Sarah, she was already a Guitar Hero expert. Like, oh, I can 100% a song on expert, no problem. And I'm like, who is this person, you know? And she forced me to, like, become better at that game, which then got me into Rock Band, and then that's a whole other, we could podcast for days on that. But I've got, like, 600 songs, I think, downloaded on my 360 for Rock Band at this time. So,
I think it's time to get into some hidden gems or some not so hidden gems because I got some others here that aren't really hidden. They're kind of more like in between hits and hidden. I'll let you go first.
I'll start with the series that we can both talk about pretty ad nauseum here. So Fatal Frame 1, Fatal Frame 2, Crimson Butterfly, and then Fatal Frame 3, The Tormented, are amazing games. I personally have never played them, but I have watched Sarah beat all of them, and they are terrifying.
Did you ever get the one for Wii U?
No, that's soon.
Okay.
But not yet, but soon. But this series changed gaming for me because it went from being an experience where I was a dude playing a sport or a dude wrestling in a ring or a dude shooting a gun. It came to your only task is to take pictures and they will fucking scare you. And the atmosphere, I mean, this is, in my opinion, the scariest series that came out ever.
Yeah.
Like, this is the definitive horror series. And I said this, I don't know if we were on an episode of this together, if we were doing Journey into Comics or something, but I did mention how the Wii U is the perfect peripheral for this series, being that the gamepad could be your camera.
Yeah.
And then you were like, oh yeah, that totally exists.
What?
Yeah, what? No, it doesn't.
I didn't play a whole lot of this, but I did rent the second one, which is why I own it. I definitely would like to get the other ones, but apparently the second one, there's like a version on the Xbox.
I have that one as well.
You have that one that has like some extra stuff, a director's cut or something.
It was so when the first Fatal Frame came out, it was exclusive to PS2, and then like I want to say like maybe less than 6 months after, when whenever Crimson Butterfly was getting ready to release, they put the first one on Xbox, and then after Crimson Butterfly, they put the director's cut on Xbox. It was like a delayed release thing. But yeah, director's cut. I have not dabbled into the director's cut, and I haven't watched Sarah dabble into the director's cut, so I don't know what's in there. But I'm sure they probably did like extra levels and stuff like that.
Something usually. They want to entice people to buy it, you know.
These games are rare and kind of expensive.
They're definitely getting up there. It's definitely a not hidden, but you know, not necessarily the top of the line entries either. And honestly, I'm gonna go right to some of mine that are that way too, and that's the Shin Megami Tensei series.
Nocturne, and do you have the Digital Devil Sagas?
I do not have Digital Devil Saga. I do have Nocturne. This is the first one I bought. Which this is actually, I want to say Nocturne is Shin Megami Tensei 3.
Correct.
If I remember correctly, that is actually the third of that entry, because then they also have more recently 4 on the 3DS or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I want to talk about the Personas.
Your bread and butter series.
So I have not really dabbled into 3 yet. This is more of a newer get for me, because I started with 4. And honestly, I started with 4 on the Vita, not on the PS2. But I got both the PS2 and 4 on the Vita on the same day. Because that day there was a goal for me. And that goal was to find Persona 4 Golden on the Vita. Second to last place I'm at, still haven't found it. I'm like, and then I find this, and I'm like,
pull the trigger.
Well, it was one of those things where I was trying to decide, do I just buy this and play this and just deal with it, or do I go ahead and like just not buy it, because I really wanted to play it at this point. Mm-hmm. I bought it, and then I went to GameStop in the mall. Last place I went, and they had it. They had Golden, but Persona 4, I don't have the includes bonus disc, which I think is like the soundtrack.
It is.
I don't have that. I do have the manual and the disc.
So was this slightly used when you got it?
Yeah. You have to use copy. I got it from Game Exchange.
The only reason I ask is because this was maybe the last PlayStation pre-order game we had from GameStop in the Sarah era before she quit.
Oh, I see.
So,
CD, yes, CD included. This 2 discs that includes the game, and the other bonus disc is the CD.
Is the Vita version hard to find?
No.
Okay, because I know that
GameStop,
Sarah's going to want to get it.
Okay, here's the thing. I know you don't want to go to GameStop. But
I don't hate going to GameStop.
Well, because I don't want to go to GameStop.
Totally.
I don't. I just literally do not want to go to GameStop. But they're one of the few places left that still have some decent Vita stuff. Not a lot, but they do tend to have kind of a varied variety as far as like your RPGs, and then they got some of your action games. Yeah. And so that's the place to go. Brand new, $20.
Oh, not bad at all.
The game is freaking phenomenal. It's one of my. I don't know if it's in my top 10, but it's close. If I were to do a new top 10, I could probably argue for it to be in there, because it definitely left that lasting impression on me. And I've heard 3. 3 is just as good, but 4 made.
This was Sarah's first entry into Persona, and she loved it. It was an instant hit for her. I remember her playing it, and she was just like so different.
Yeah, it's very dark, and so I wanted to get an entry of each of them, right? So I have the first Persona on the PSP. It's also on the original PlayStation, expensive as shit. Then I have the Persona 2 got split up into 2 games.
Okay.
They both got released in PS1 in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
We only got one of them on PS1 over here, which is Part 2. Now, granted, okay, what I mean by split up into 2, like each one is its own full story.
Gotcha.
But they both come together to make this big overarching this big overarching story over these 2 games. And we never got the first one due to, like, I think Persona 2, the one that came out on PS1, got released in like 99 or 2000. So it was like right near the end of the lifespan of the PS1.
Okay.
And they didn't want to port it over. That's probably what it was. Now here's the thing. When they did the Persona remake, original Persona on PSP, they said, all right, we're going to put 2 over there. So for unforeseen circumstances, we got the part 1 of 2 on the PSP. We never got part 2.
So in order to complete the original run of Persona in America, you would have to play part 1 on PSP, then go back to play part 2 on PS1.
Or but they see, because of the unforeseen circumstances and then them not ever releasing this game, they did release it as a PS1 classic.
Oh.
So you can download it
digitally.
But it is the PS1 version.
Okay.
And then this game, Persona 3 came out, and then they released Persona 3 FES, which is I think it's like an expansion. And I don't know if this one allows you to control your compadres or not.
This was the game, correct me if I'm wrong, Persona 3, the way into the shadow world was to kill yourself in character?
Well, I know that's how you summon your personas.
Or summon your persona. My fault.
Anyway, so I have most of the personas on handheld. So I'm like, I want to get Persona 3 on handheld. And I've only ever seen it once, and that's before I even had any interest in the series.
Did it come out on PSP?
Yes. There's a PSP version, and that is the version that allows you to control your other characters. Because the classic Persona to play is that you control your character, and the other characters have their own AI.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I don't like that.
And now the PSP versions, when they started to get away from that, it's totally not there. Like, you get to control everybody.
You can, but it's default to have it to where they control themselves.
Okay.
But then you can change it.
Cool.
But so back in January.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I was trying to plan out my Taxmas for this year, right? And back in January they had a sale, they had a flash sale on the store, for the PSN store. Persona 3 portable, $5. Bought it. Then this is on Amazon, brand new, $15. For $20, I got the portable version on digital, physical copy PS2.
Sweet.
Persona games, definitely check that out. I never really looked into the original Shin Megami Tensei series. That's the only that's the only version I have of any of them. But from what I understand, they're also a very heavy dungeon crawler. 'Cause that's what Persona is, like the dungeon crawler aspects with a little bit of teenage simulator,
mm-hmm.
which it sounds goofy, but it's really cool with how they do their characters.
I'm going to go with the more common of the less common gems that I have here and move to Katamari Damacy. This is a staple in my house. We have every version that's ever been released in Katamari. There's a PSP version. That's me and my Katamari. There's Touch My Katamari for Vita. There's Katamari Damacy, which was the original. Yep. The sequel was We Love Katamari. Then Beautiful Katamari for Xbox 360. And then Katamari Forever for the PS3. And I think they're coming out with a new one next year, but don't quote me on that. But this game is the most not normal game in existence because the whole goal is to roll stuff up. That's all you do. Thing is, it's not just oh, you just roll shit up and that's the whole game. It's more like, hey, the level will tell you, I need you to collect jewelry type things, and you have to try to get as much jewelry in your roll up as possible. They can do hot levels and cold levels. Those are the most infuriating of the series. So the hot level, you're trying to build up to 10,000 Celsius.
Yeah.
The cold level, you're trying to stay around 0 Celsius. Okay. So if you hit anything hot that pushes you over, you automatically lose the level. And then the same is to be said if you're rolling in the heat level and you fall into water, it's over. So those levels can be infuriating. But this series, to this day, we're playing it all the time.
That's awesome.
Like at least once a week, we get out the Katamari, one of the different games, and we just take turns playing. It's so much fun. It's just a total get in the relaxed place. You don't have to get aggressive about it. There's a couple collectibles throughout the game that matter, cousins and presents, which you do have to roll up. Overall, the mechanic is great. The series is great. Beautiful Katamari essentially took the best stuff from 1 and 2 and put it on 360 as a not really re-release with new levels included. And then Beautiful Katamari was the same thing again with the Katamari Forever was the same thing again with the Beautiful Katamari levels that didn't get released, plus new Katamari Forever levels. So it's like they just kept kind of like switching it around until that,
until they got the definitive version.
Correct. It's super kitschy. I don't know.
I remember though when that game came out, and I remember in our journalism class, somebody in class writing a review for that for our paper.
Jordan did.
Yeah.
Dude. I can't remember his last name, but I do remember Jordan wrote an article about it, and I was like, what the hell? You just roll stuff up? And I didn't get it at the time. It was just a different era for me.
Yeah, dude. I wanted you to bring that talk about that because that's where this started. It was just really weird and freaking quirky, you know?
Yeah,
All
absolutely.
Right. So I've got a few more before we get to your last one. Rogue Galaxy, RPG, Sony.
I have this.
Do you think? I think you do. Maybe. I want to say you said that you were jealous that you didn't have it.
I think you're right, because I think I almost bought that once, and then I decided not to. I have the message where I sent you the picture, so I'm just going to look at my collection real quick.
This came out kind of late. Well, I say late in the life cycle of the PS2.
2007?
2006.
6?
But really, the PS2 stopped being in production in 2013.
Yeah.
But okay, so like right in the middle, I guess. But really, if you want to talk about quality games that came out for the system, it is right near the end.
I do not have Rogue Galaxy anymore. My copy's gone.
But really cool game. I got this on this was just a game that I wanted to try and hunt down. I'm a big RPG guy, so I plugged it in. I really dig like the whole pirate theme, which is why I really wanted to get Skies of Arcadia as well. And so looking forward to diving into this again. Like this system has so many. Like we didn't even show any shooters. We didn't show any sort of.
We also didn't show another series, Tales.
I don't.
Legendia's on this, right?
Yeah, I don't have a Tales game at all. I have Ease over there.
Yeah.
But I didn't really feel like bringing Ease out. I mean, it's a hidden thing, sure.
But you have more of that on PSP and Vita.
Exactly.
It's your bread and butter.
Yeah, we didn't even show like any of the. I don't really collect shooters, so like, your first Call of Duties that came out here. Black, yes.
That's one I don't have for the collection that I want to get.
And then of course, like at the time, Medal of Honor, it was out for for that and stuff. So, up next, Klonoa 2, Lunatea's Veil. This game was a sequel to Klonoa 1 on PS1. That's a crazy expensive game.
Yeah.
Thankfully, this one's not as expensive. And this actually up near you at your disc replay. Last time they had 2 of these up there. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. And so really happy to have this really cool, fun platforming game. Only 3 of these in the main series. There was one on PS1, one on PS2, and then the remake of one on the Wii.
Oh.
And then they have 1 or 2 Game Boy Advance games. Fun though, really fun. And I don't know where it's at price wise at this point, but I want to say maybe I paid like 20 something.
I'll look it up.
Next game.
Sure.
Discovered this through a YouTube channel.
Metal Jesus Rocks.
Metal Jesus Rocks. Snoopy versus the Red Baron. I want to talk about this because he started talking about it. I'm like, what? There's no way this is good. Yes. Holy crap, this game is fun. This is like one of the best dogfighting games on the PS2.
Really?
Yes. like as awesome as that Crimson Skies is.
Yeah.
Like this game is freaking cool. And it's just with like Snoopy characters.
That's awesome.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's just badass. Of course, you can do like multiplayer and just dogfight each other all night and everything. It is really fun, and then you can get power ups and stuff, like to get weapons. Kind of like it's almost like in a way like a Grand Theft Auto not Grand Theft Auto. I'm sorry, Twisted Metal, like in the sky or something.
That's
in a way with you hunting each other down.
That's super cool.
And what we got here is Okage,
I have
Shadow
it.
King. This is another RPG for Sony. This is made by Sony. And this one is so quirky and funny. This game had me rolling. I want to go back and I want to complete this game because I remember like the dude's sister she's been stricken with a sickness where she can speak only in Pig Latin.
Yep.
And this game just had me rolling just from the intro. And the game looks like, to me, like it's very Tim Burton-y.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at the characters in the back.
Yeah. Yeah, they do look very Tim Burton-y. Like that could be the mayor from freaking Halloween Town.
Yeah, but I want to go back and I want to play this. This is something cool, and it's not really that expensive.
I will look that up in a second. I wanted to tell you on the Klonoa, you were asking. Lunaty's Veil is about $26, complete in box. The original Klonoa,
70.
I don't actually see. Oh, I do see. No. Wait, yes. Klonoa Door to Phantom Isle is actually $170.
What?
Yeah. They also had Klonoa Beach Volleyball for PS1 that has no price, though. Klonoa Heroes for GBA and Klonoa 2 Dream Champ Tournament. Yeah, so they've been on a lot of systems. Also, that's a system. What's this system, Brando?
Wonder Swan.
What?
The Wonder Swan.
Never heard of it. Never. I don't know what the fuck that is.
You need to do some more YouTube watching.
Okay.
Anyway, you got one left.
Okay, so this game I want to kind of preface by saying it predates Guitar Hero.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It is maybe the best rhythm music game that has ever come out because it's not like Guitar Hero or your Tecmo, or not Tecmo, Taiko Drum Master.
Yeah.
It's its own unique kind of beast because the whole game is played with a regular PlayStation 2 controller. And the game is Guitarumon. Now, you play as the character here on the cover, the Guitarumon, and every level is a song that advances and gets a little bit harder as you play, and you have to, like, real-time event hit the 4 different buttons, but while you're hitting the buttons, you have to take your joystick and move it in the sound wave that the song is going, and, like, it gets pretty crazy. Once you beat the game on regular mode, it unlocks a really, really hard mode that makes all the songs just like double in toughness, putting way more button prompts and everything in it. I've seen Sarah destroy this game tons of times. I myself have played it. I was not very good at it, and I admitted that very early on. Like, I love watching the game, but I'm not the great at controlling it. So this was just a gem that you don't really find around. I do believe there is a sequel, Guitarumon Lives, that was on PSP.
Yes.
And again, a harder to find game, but if you can get your hands on a Guitarumon, it's sincerely an extremely fun experience, for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, I remember I'd never even heard of that until you had said something about it. And the odd thing is that it wasn't long after that I did see a copy of it on PSP. I think it was in indie.
Oh, cool.
I couldn't afford it.
Yeah, they go for.
I mean, like, at the time, like, granted, okay, like, I only get, like, certain amount of times throughout the year I can actually afford to really splurge and buy expensive games.
Yeah.
That was not one of them.
And that wasn't on a priority.
No, I mean, it something like that would be cool, but I have to have that. I have to justify in a way of, like, I could just throw this money away because I don't know if I'm really even going to like this, you know?
Yeah.
So, I've got one last game on my list.
Sweet.
And this is a really cool game, a really cool action game. like kind of a fun run and gun shooter type game. And you know, I wouldn't necessarily say it's one of my favorites, but I remember me and Jason having a lot of fun with this game. And
I know what it is. Oh, you're killing me, Smalls.
it's Dead to Rights.
Shout out to you, Mike.
Wink. So yeah, Dead to Rights, awesome game, dude. It does a lot of different little things. The whole like bomb diffusing mini game is pretty fun. The whole bullet time, slow down action is pretty fun too. They made a sequel. I didn't care for the sequel nearly as much. They recasted the voice of the guy, which I didn't even know who the guy is that did the voice for this, but like, and it's the same guy that does Spike Spiegel, who plays in everything, which I like his voice, but I'm like,
It's not the same voice.
that's not him.
Yeah.
But yeah. I had to bring this up because if anybody's never really watched the show or listened, we did one of these on the original PS1, and Mike didn't have enough time to prepare, and he was like listing out some of his favorite games for his system, and we didn't have all the games out like we do here, and you know, Mike doesn't have nearly as big of a collection as I do, especially for PS1.
Correct.
But he wrote down a lot of the ones, and he got one wrong, and it was number 10, and he remembered playing this on PS1, and I'm like, oh no, it's PS2. He goes, you sure? I said, yeah. And then I had to look it up on the show.
During the retrospective.
Yeah.
LaFail.
That's become kind of a running joke. And of course, he actually did buy it. He got it on, I think he bought it on PS2. And he bought one in too. And then he actually brought that up when for the pickup segment. He goes, not on PS1.
Totally on PS2.
And see, where I think he played it was on GameCube because he didn't have a PS2, but like, so it's like he had a GameCube, then he got an Xbox later. So I think he played it on GameCube, and for some reason in his head he was like, that's a PS1 game. That game was cool.
Maybe it was just in the times of his life. He was maybe playing some PS1 at that time.
And that can happen. I mean, I know not everybody has this crazy crap of a memory that I do. It's like it is so good in some things, it's so bad in others.
Me too.
Like I can just remember exactly where I was and doing certain things, and I did certain. Like I remember me and Jason playing the crap out of this and SmackDown Shut Your Mouth. We kept switching back and forth, and we were drinking Sierra Mist all day.
Sweet.
Because my mom worked at the local gas station as the manager. Mm-hmm. The Pepsi guy would give her stuff that he was taking off the shelves. So we would get free soda sometimes. We had a whole bucket full of Sierra Mist.
Sweet.
So
run right through you.
It does. It does. That
you can drink it and pee it at the same time.
Yes. Me and Jason will definitely attest that you can definitely, like, it runs through you like nothing else.
Speaking of pee, can we call him Pee-Pee Mike from now on? Because Mike has just taken so many pee breaks. It's kind of a running gag on your show.
Okay.
Like, as a fan watching your show, I'm just always like, Mike's got to take a pee break, you know? It's funny.
It's always difficult for me, too, because I'm like, all right, now I got to carry the show by myself, try to figure out what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah.
It's always funny because in here, he's trapped. He can't get up.
Yeah.
So it's like, he'll be over here, and his... I mean, he's doing that. I know he's got to go. And sometimes I'll just delay the show.
Slow it down.
Slow it down just a little bit.
Mess with him.
Yeah, dude, that's it, man. That is all the games.
But there are a couple controllers that you wanted to show off.
Yeah.
Let's not forget
there
those.
are third-party controllers, and, of course, like, third-party now is not really too popular. Back then, it was like everybody had third-party controllers.
Yeah.
Of course, this one was one of my favorites. It lit up blue. And it had some LEDs in there. And I really just, to this day, like the ergonomics of this. The R2 and L2 are like way down here, so your middle fingers rest there, and it works. The face buttons are a little smaller. The D-pad is a little bit to be desired, but the sticks are fine. They're a little closer together, I feel. And then your start and select button are these really weird buttons right here.
Yeah.
But I played a lot with that controller. This last one is called the Retro Con by Mad Cats. And I've been looking all over for a replacement for this because it's shaped like an NES controller.
Yeah.
And it has, your D-pad, your start and select, which are just like start and select. It has your face buttons here, which are not like the NES, but they're there. You have two sticks because you got to have two sticks. They even click.
So you get those L3 and R3, and then the shoulder buttons, which is what some people don't like about it. The 1 buttons, L1, R1 are out here, and the 2 are on the inside. But they have this little lip here that let you feel what you're pressing.
Yep.
So once you get used to it, it's really cool. And if you have smaller hands, it's really comfortable. I have bigger hands, but I got so used to this controller and really loved it. I played through Kingdom Hearts 2 with it. And
you said Metal Gear 3 as well,
Metal
which
Gear
is
3
crazy.
And some boxing game I played with that.
Was that Snake Eater pre-Subsistence?
No, it would have been
Subsistence. It would have been Subsistance.
Yeah. Yeah, because I never owned Snake Eater either. Yeah, I went ahead and just waited and bought the re-releases.
Smart.
I kind of do want to buy them just to have them, but at the same time, it's like bite the bullet and spend money to buy the same game.
Yep.
I've done it for Resident Evil. I've got 6 copies of the original Resident Evil, so why not, right?
Do you have the PS1 Director's Cut in the little case?
I have 2 of them.
Weird. I have one of those.
I have the big box. I have the Director's Cut with the Resident Evil 2 demo, and I have the greatest hits without the demo.
Cool.
I think that's going to round up our show, though. This has been the PS2 Retrospective. PS2 launched October 2000, ended in January of 2013.
That's a long-ass system life, 13 years. I mean, no other system matches that. The Xbox only went, 5 years? 2000 to 2005?
The original Xbox went 2001 to 2005.
4 years.
4 years.
Whoa.
So we're to run this up here. I don't know how much time we have left.
I don't either, and I can't tell from here.
But we're gonna look at some of some of the approximately units sold as of March 31st, 2012. 155 million units.
Wow.
You can get a 40 gigabyte add-on hard drive to go into the expansion bay. For the fat only. You can't do that for the slim.
That means that you could store all your games on that then and not have to have a memory card. Interesting.
Okay, so that was the wrong one. Trying to find the list of best-selling PlayStation 2 video games. So we're going to look at the list. And how far back should we go? Should we go...
I don't know, man. I do want to say real quick that I did not bring them, but I have 2 games that are technically the rarest of my collection, but I don't know enough about them that I could have even said 5 words. So I bought this game on a whim, Kuon, Kuon, and I haven't played it yet, and I was just cataloging with the Game Eye, and I'm like, holy shit, it's $166 complete in box? I think I bought it for $3 at GameStop at the time, just on a whim, you know? And then Rule of Rose is the other one.
Right.
And that's highly sought after. A lot of people want that game. Not a lot of people got that game. I remember when that game launched. But that's really all I have for PS2 stuff.
All right, so the best-selling game for PS2 of all time is...
Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Yep. 17.33 million copies.
Holy fuck.
Next is Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec at 14 million.
Most of that is because it came with the system.
A chunk of it, but not all of it. Gran Turismo 4 is number 3 at 11. Vice City at 9. You have Grand Theft Auto 3 at 7.
Wow. The top 5 has 3 GTA games and 2 GT games.
Yeah. You have Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty at 7. Final Fantasy 6 at 6.6. Final Fantasy 10 at 6.6. Then you have Tekken 5 at 6. Final Fantasy 12 at 5.2. Kingdom Hearts with 4.78. 5.9 shipped, including Kingdom Hearts Final Mix and Ultimate Hits. Kind of
re-release numbers.
God of War 4.6. Dragon Quest 8. 4.44. Madden 05. God of War 2. Jak and Daxter, that's the original. Final Fantasy 10-2. iToy, the camera game.
Yeah.
Madden 04, Kingdom Hearts 2, Madden 06, Ratchet and Clank, Snake Eater only did 3.7. Seems like this should be higher.
I agree.
But then you have Guitar Hero 2 down here at 3.4.
That's actually a lower number than I expected.
Yeah, I know. And see, Guitar Hero isn't even on here yet. Budokai Tenkaichi 3, that's Dragon Ball Z. That's 3 million. I have that, but I didn't bring it out. But yeah, dude. The list keeps going a little bit, and it just it is funny how much they drastically jump down, you know. I mean, that's still a lot. I mean, you have a couple million of anything sold, that's still a lot. But when you have the monster successes of Grand Theft Auto,
they printed money in that era,
dude, and they're printing money now.
Still, I mean,
with 5,
we didn't even get on the topic of when you look at Rockstar as a whole with Bully under their umbrella, and you've got the
Red Dead, Midnight Club,
yeah.
They were doing that at the time.
The what's another Rockstar? Isn't there another Rockstar series that I'm missing?
Max
Payne, thank you. I think that's it.
Then they did Manhunt. Yeah.
I think that's it, man. I don't have anything else.
I don't have anything else either. That was the PS2, guys. Thank you guys for checking out this episode. Thank you, Nate, for coming onto the show and just talking about some games.
It's honestly, as I told you yesterday, an honor that you invited me to do the PlayStation 2. When I got that nod, I was just I danced around my house for a few minutes because I was like, I can't believe that. I was certain Mike would do it. I don't know. He did the PS1 one. I just felt like he was going to just do the sequel as well.
Yeah, he didn't really have a PS2, so it's like he's just starting his PS2 collection.
Oh, well, good luck, Mike.
And really, there's so many games that got released, and so many, that we could probably do a whole another episode on just games, you know.
Yeah.
But really, it's I covered a lot of the highlights from my collection. I still have a whole stack over there sitting. I talk about some of them, and some of the ones I bought just on a whim, just to see if they were good.
Yeah.
And some of the ones were like, you know what, it's cheap, I'm gonna pick it up. But yeah, thank you for coming on the show, man. I'm really appreciative of you coming down here and
Thanks again.
Being on the show. I want to thank you guys for checking out this episode and all the places where you can find us, especially on YouTube with the whole video thing that we got going on. We didn't do the green screen today because there's not really enough room here in my game room.
I was wondering if you were actually going to even bring that up because this is the next episode after the debut.
After the first green screen, yeah, we tried the green screen, and we're only gonna do that at Mike's because we're still kind of monkeying with it, still trying to get how we want it to be. Of course, we're probably we might need to get more lights. We might need to get a better camera, which some of that stuff just is not going to happen right now. But of course, as always, this is a podcast first, so you can check us out on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher Radio, Google Play Music, and get us all in there and get us on audio. We're
subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. Leave reviews. It's awesome, dude. It helps us out. And of course, you can check us out on social media. We are on Facebook at Game Addicts Podcast. We are on Twitter at Game Addicts Play. Search us on YouTube, GameX Podcast. We show up. Subscribe. Help us get subscribers on that. The YouTube channels help us out and can grow the channel too. And so we're on Instagram at GameX Play as well. I've been posting collections or pictures of my PS1 collection from when I did the Game Eye.
Mm-hmm.
Not sponsored by Game Eye.
Not yet.
But when I was doing the cataloging, I was just taking pictures of some of my collections. And so I'm gonna routinely try to remember to do that day after day until I'm all done.
Cool.
So with that being said, thank you guys for checking out this episode. We'll check you out next week. And I've been Brando.
I'm Nate.
And we'll see you next time.
Later.